As the days get shorter and the skies turn gray, do you ever feel a dip in your mood and energy? You're not alone. This is often called seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder, and it's more common than you might think. But here's the good news. There are simple, effective ways to manage it. First, try to soak up as much natural sunlight as you can. A short walk during the day can make a huge difference. Also, keeping a regular sleep schedule, even on weekends, helps stabilize your mood. Staying active is another powerful tool. A quick home workout or a yoga session can boost those feel-good endorphins. And don't forget to connect with friends and family. Remember, it's okay to not feel okay. You've got this. The American Indian Traditional Healing Center.
Okay guys, welcome to our first talking circle of 2026. We are discussing navigating seasonal depression. The organization is American Indian Traditional Healing Center. We are a nonprofit organization established in Nashville, Tennessee, aimed at offering a platform and space for American Indians originating from the most ancient woodland civilizations, especially in the Southeast, and through the application of traditional knowledge, our authentic narratives, and ceremonial customs, we work to educate, heal, and restore indigenous populations and revive ancient Southeastern ceremonies. My name is Dominique Caraya. I'm the founder of American Indian Traditional Healing Center.
Yes, and I am on Alpha Bear. I'm the spiritual leader of the American Indian Traditional Healing Center, and I will be giving insights on my experience and knowledge of seasonal depression and techniques that you can use, and nutritional needs that you need to check out in order to help you with your seasonal depression or any other type of depression you're going through.
Hi, I'm Indigo.
Okay. So we're going to go into the presentation. What is seasonal depression? So seasonal depression, also known as seasonal affective disorder, is a type of depression characterized by a recurrent seasonal pattern. In most cases, SAD starts in the late fall or early winter and goes away during spring and summer, known as winter pattern SAD or winter depression. Winter depression is more common than summer depression. A few symptoms that we have here are feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, persistent sad, anxious, or empty moods, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies, decreased energy, fatigue, or slowed down, changes in sleep and appetite, physical aches and pains, feelings of irritability, frustration, and restlessness, or feelings of guilt, worthlessness, or helplessness. And the winter pattern SAD tends to involve oversleeping, which is also known as hypersomnia, overeating, and social withdrawal, whereas summer pattern SAD involves trouble sleeping, poor appetites, agitation, anxiety, violent or aggressive behavior, and restlessness as well. One cause of seasonal depression is the history. So when we talk about the history, the dominant culture is truly not our own culture as indigenous peoples, right? So there's a history behind that. And the holidays tend to come with a not so pleasant history in regards to indigenous peoples throughout the Americas, especially in North America, such as Thanksgiving being one. And so the descendants of people whose families were enslaved and indigenous peoples were also enslaved, and families that were broken apart during this time of year by those who owned and sold them may also experience this anxiety and this depression due to genetic memory. And that genetic memory is what is referred to as epigenetic trauma. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard about epigenetic trauma, but it's the study of how certain genes are turned on and off. And scientists who studied epigenetic trauma have found that the trauma experienced by parents can impact the DNA and behavior of their offspring for generations to come. So when you think about something like that your grandparents went through or your great-grandparents went through, well, that's affecting their children and so on and so forth. So the ancestral trauma negatively impacts the well-being of even the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, especially if it's not healed. And another cause of this is one's own personal history or family history. And other causes are family and other loved ones. So missing our loved ones who may have passed away. Family coming together could also trigger memories of negative family interactions from the past. And also health. Health conditions may worsen in colder weather. Examples being joint pain, respiratory conditions, and even some skin conditions like eczema. So now we're going to speak on healing seasonal depression with the principles of the Southeastern Indigenous Medicine Wheel. Physical health. In our Southeastern Indigenous Medicine Wheel, this aspect of health is represented by the color copper. Copper is also known to strengthen our immune system. It has antibacterial and antiviral properties. It promotes iron absorption and it strengthens bones. Those are just a few things it does, but copper actually has a lot more benefits. So physical health is a state of well-being when all internal and external body parts function properly. To help in this, stay active. You can walk, you can do different types of exercise, you can do yoga, you can do dancing. I have found that especially in the colder times of year, I tend to focus more so on doing like yoga or listening to calming music and things of that nature. Just something that's kind of slower for me and not as fast paced. Whereas when it comes to the summertime, I want to like get out there and run and just jog. But in the winter, I'm more so focused on making sure that I stretch and am not stiff and things of that nature, because it easily happens to me in cold weather. So for optimum physical health, Rebecca, do you want to take this one over?
Yes. For optimal physical health of our body, we need trace minerals, proper diet, and water for our body to function properly and remain in a homeostasis state. Eating healthy foods, especially warmer foods in colder seasons to help maintain body temperatures. Avoid eating a lot of artificial sugars and sweets. These foods lead to low energy, bad moods, inflammation, and other health issues. And the main thing when I say our bodies need to remain in a homeostasis state, we have to have the proper nutrition. Make sure that we have all our trace minerals. Magnesium is one that can help with depression, anxiety, and also resetting your central nervous system. And that's the main reason why we suffer from these issues in the winter or in the summer, is the regulation of our nervous system.
Our next healing point is mental health. That is a big one. In our Southeastern Indigenous Medicine Wheel, this aspect of health is represented by the color yellow, and it represents the mind. So mental health is psychological, social, and emotional well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, and it determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and the choices that we make. How is your state of mind? Do your thoughts tend to lead more towards being negative or positive? And if it's more negative, are you doing things to improve that? Are you doing anything to improve that? Get as much vitamin D as possible. Of course, it's harder in the winter to get a lot of sun, but as much sun as you can get. I mean, there's times when the sun does shine. It's not always gloomy. Foods that contain vitamin D are good to consume, such as mushrooms. There's supplements out there, cod liver oil, and of course, as Rebecca said, trace minerals. Also, having a support team, whether it's a counselor, a mentor, family, friends, that helps as well. Another thing I wanted to add for mental health is positive affirmations. I know people have, different ways of dealing with things, but for me, positive affirmations help. I've seen some will have positive affirmations on their mirrors, bathroom mirrors. I have some on my wall. Listening to inspirational teachers, that is something that can help keep your mind just like in a positive, hopeful, not hopeless state of being. And also meditation. Are there any other things that you would suggest, Rebecca?
Yes, I also like to add, make sure you are grounding. It doesn't matter where you are. If you can stick your feet in the grass, do it. If you can touch a tree, do it. If you can go near water, do it, because those are all avenues of centering yourself, reflecting on things, and do not be afraid to ask for help, because I know most people, they're afraid to have that stigma of having a mental illness or going through depression and anxiety at any given time. It's okay to reach out. Please do. And make sure you are reflecting, journaling, and doing all those mindful activities that will keep you active and present during these times.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, it's normal to need people. Like, we've gotten into a society where there's this like hyper independence, like, oh, I can do everything on my own. I could do, like, that's not natural for us as people, one, but especially as Indigenous people. We were a very social people, and we're originally, pre-colonial times, very social. I mean, we always were having, whether it's ceremony, whether it's family gatherings, whatever it was. And so in this time, we've gotten kind of away from that, and a lot of people tend to keep to themselves. But there's nothing wrong with needing people, and there's nothing wrong with having support from people. I just want to stress that.
Think of it as reconnecting to your village, because I grew up around 3 great grandmothers, and knowing that I experienced that, and some people don't have it these days, think of it as reconnecting to that village when you were younger and you saw that village interacting and helping each other. Think of it as us as a community trying to pull everyone back together in a village.
Right. So our next point, spiritual health. Spiritual health is your internal well-being, connecting to both your inner and outer world to help you live a purposeful life. The direction of the north is where the spiritual health is represented in our Southeastern Indigenous medicine wheel. It represents air, breath, spirit, and spiritual health. And it's also the color red. So ways to do this is connecting with community, organizations like ours, groups that serve different purposes. Also ceremonies, sessions of various healing modalities. And some questions here is, do you feel that you have meaning in life? These are things to help connect you to yourself. Think about where you are within. Do you believe that life has meaning? How do you connect with yourself? And would you say that you are connected to yourself? And how do you connect with others? As I expressed in the other point, socially isolating yourself, that can actually make symptoms worse. So spend time with others. Those you can get along with, it may not be family, but friends. Just spend time with other people who actually care about you and are supportive of you. And this is why we offer spaces such as the talking circles, the different healing modalities, because these are things that you can engage in to make sure that you're spiritually balanced within. Rebecca, do you want to add to that one?
I would say this would be the time to journal. Write down your feelings, write down what's going on in your life, and to try to pinpoint where it all started. I know for a lot of people, we have different things that we have pushed aside, and it created that path to depression and anxiety outside of just seasonal depression. Journal, talk to someone. Also, for ceremonies, if you need to reconnect with ceremonies, just reach out to us. We can walk you through a way to create small ceremonies for yourself, such as spiritual baths, lighting candles, reflecting on what you need in your life, ancestral veneration. I strongly do that for myself in my own healing, because I had a sister who passed away from breast cancer 4 years ago, and I have to maneuver through that as well. but don't be afraid to reach out to anyone to assist you in these on these journeys that we're trying to reach as a community.
And our next point, emotional health. Emotional health is the ability to cope with positive and negative emotions, and including your awareness of them. And this is represented in our Southeastern Indigenous Medicine Wheel as the direction of the West. It represents water, emotions, which water is typically linked with, and emotional health. So this is something that I wanted to share. My mother shared this with me, and I always keep that in mind. Allow yourself to feel your emotions, but do not get lost in your emotions. And that is an affirmation that I use. I allow myself to feel the emotion, but I let it pass. Don't allow it to consume you. So some things that I would ask, what are your coping mechanisms? Are they harmful or are they helpful? Write these down, some things that you can do to make you feel better emotionally.
I would like to add something.
Okay. Kareem?
Yeah. I remember what I used to do in the past whenever I was depressed about anything. I would do stuff like I would watch stuff to make me laugh. I would do like probably like arts and craft type of stuff. I guess that was just my way of coping. I did have a habit of isolating myself from people at a time, and I think my reason for that was lack of trust. Like when you feel betrayed, you feel like, okay, well, let me just get my distance from folks so I could, get myself together. And sometimes you just need time to meditate and think about things, because you don't want to lash out at people, especially those that might not have done anything that put you in that position. But that I find that was my way of dealing with any type of depression I had in the past. Laughter, focus on something else that would take my mind away from it. And I find that some people try to find their coping mechanism to deal with depression, and some people might even do stuff like shopping, which I don't think is a good financial choice, but everyone has their way of coping with depression. Some might sleep. Some might say, you know what, I need to take a break. Let me go on vacation, relax. And then you have others that don't take it too well, and they don't seek the help or treatment they need, and they might end up committing a murder or a crime. But my way of dealing with seasonal depression at that point in time was, some type of arts and craft, laughter. I like to laugh. I feel like that helps a lot. It soothes me,
Right. So it looks like Avante has his hand raised.
Hey, greetings. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So my way I'd like to deal with seasonal depression is music, whether they be playing the flute. Can y'all see my flute?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I grab an instrument or a piano or turn on Logic and record. But I think it's important to have creative outlets, even if that's just like, a little kick in a drum or whatever. Just allow ourselves to express through instruments. And I think sound and vibrations, hold a healing modality beyond, some of the traditional means. Like, it's easy to go shopping and spend money, but you just pick up a little instrument and express yourself. It helps to move. So it helps me. That's the way that I tap in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really great way too. I
Yes.
think a lot of people relate to that for sure.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because that's one thing I was researching on frequencies, and discovered by chance that when we used to listen to music on the record player, there was a diamond needle that was being used, and with that frequency from that diamond needle touching that vinyl record, it was sending out a healing frequency for us. And it was an article written about how black people were healing through their music, and they changed it from the vinyl to the CD. And you understand that music changes, and it caused a different effect within our community once that vibe changed. So yes, I agree. We definitely have to find the avenues that can bring us out of that realm of depression and anxiety. Painting was something that I picked up last year. That just blew my mind that, hey, I can actually paint. It was therapy. It was considered therapy. So find whatever you can connect with to help you through it.
Right, and that's so relaxing, because I notice when I paint, I'm so relaxed.
Yes.
So relaxed. And what you said about the music, I was thinking about the horn the other day. Because that is an indigenous instrument. Like, it's always been used over here. And like, what's interesting is I noticed in a lot of the older music up here, like in North America, the horns were used, but now I'm noticing with the popular music, I don't hear a lot of horn anymore. And so I don't know the science behind that, but I do feel like there's some healing in that horn.
Yes.
So, on to our next point. Healing with native herbs. First one I have here is blue vervain, aka verbena. Verbena supports the nervous system. It is a sedative. It helps with digestion, the female reproductive system, and it's a diuretic. Traditionally, we have used the roots and leaves medicinally. Blue vervain, I can say, is an herb that I did use some years ago. This was closer to when I did struggle with depression, and I will say that helped. Like, I was trying to remember, like, dang, when did I really stop like feeling that way? And I thought back to the time where I had a wellness business, a small wellness business, and I had like the blue vervain and stuff like that, and I was using some of those things too. So like, the blue vervain really, really helped me, and I would just make it into a tea. That's something that I would use. There's also skullcap. It's at the bottom right here. That helps to calm nerves and relieve stress. That's also a mild sedative, and it helps with the female reproductive system too. And that is also traditionally consumed as a tea, with the leaves, stems, and flowers being used. And the skullcap can be found along the East Coast, with various species that are also in North America and parts of Mexico. Whereas blue vervain is found in North America, especially, and in the wetlands. But I think they've also got that in the islands too. Next slide is yarrow. It's at the top left. That is also a mild sedative. It promotes relaxation and emotional well-being, such as anxiety and depression. And it also helps to treat wounds and digestive issues and fevers. And yarrow is found all across North America. Some people make yarrow tinctures. People probably do teas as well. I've only had yarrow in a tincture form, but that is helpful too. The next one is Damiana. That's pictured on the bottom right. And Damiana treats depression, anxiety, nervous disorders. It also enhances the mood. It boosts the libido, and it helps with respiratory issues such as asthma and bronchitis. And traditionally, Damiana was used as medicine in Central America, the Caribbean, and South America. And it's also used for spiritual purposes. Damiana I have used as well. I have used that in the tea form. So yeah, Damiana is found in tropical and subtropical regions such as Southern California, Southern Texas, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Okay, so we have come to the end of the presentation. Now is the time for Q&A or anything that anyone wants to add. So are there any questions? Anyone want to add any more tips or advice on how they deal with depression or feelings of sadness during this time?
I would like to say, if you're going to incorporate any type of herbal remedy to help you, make sure it doesn't conflict with any other medication that you may be taking that you were prescribed, because there are contraindications to some of these herbs that are mentioned. You'll just have to do your research on the ones that you want to use that you're going to partake in while you're taking other medications. If not, then make sure your blood work is done. Make sure you figure out what it is that you can actually take. If you have any type of issues with your blood work, that's my advice on that.
Okay, Kareem?
Yeah. Another thing I heard people take for depression or anxiety, St. John's wort. You heard of that one, right?
Yes.
Is that would that be a good one too? Because I heard a lot of people talk about that one.
Rebecca, you want to answer that one?
Yes, St. John's wort is another good one to take for anxiety and depression. And there are also flowers that can be used as well, such as lavender, rose, chamomile. They have this one flower herb called airplane mode. It's a smokable herb for relaxation, and you can burn it as an incense or smoke it in in papers or whatever, however you want to do it. But yes, what else is out there that can be utilized? Anything that's natural and edible that you know that you can use in your journey for enlightenment and mental health, study it. Flowers is a great avenue to look into it.
Yes. Kareem, do you want to add something?
Yeah. I like the chamomile tea and what's the other one? Chamomile and I can't remember the name of it. But those are two good ones that's real soothing. I like mint too. Mint.
Mhm.
Mint tea is real soothing.
Yes.
Like peppermint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chamomile you can burn like an incense as well. That's really soothing and calming as well. So try that out.
And sage is pretty calming too. I don't know, when I burn that, I feel calm. I feel super calm, like, especially if it's some good sage, like some natural sage, not something they got from like a factory or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's super, super relaxing.
I remember the first time I burnt sage in the house. My oldest daughter, she came through. She was like, "Dang, Mama, you got to smell like a trap house in here." She had me rolling.
No, she funny. For me, along with sage, I like Palo Santo from South America. And then as far as teas go, well, I use the stuff, but Blue Lotus, kind of an expensive herb, but it's a good one for mood stabilization. Blue Lotus.
Yes, definitely. That is a good one. That one also is it's one that helps enlighten your spiritual journey as well, Blue Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for another talk.
All right. So is there anything anyone else wants to add before we close up the talking circle?
Oh, another thing most people probably are not privy on is the mushrooms that are out that really helps, like lion's mane, cordyceps, and different ones like that, because it's a 10 mushroom blend that you can look into as well. They can help with your anxiety, depression, and brain health. And that's all I have.
Okay. Well, thank you all for attending. This wraps up our first talking circle of the year. And I just want to say I appreciate y'all coming, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, Cavante, for coming in with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome.